back. A little later than expected, but is what it is. It's the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here. What's up, cool bro? From the Pop Culture Cosmos, Game Source, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you checking all of our shows. And if you can, please give us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Plus, if you could like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, like the one I debuted this morning. It's Pop Culture Cosmos 480, where GTA 6, we talk about that being delayed again. We talk about the success of Predator Badlands and the debuts of not just one, but two different Netflix series. Looking forward to going in and seeing what you think right there on the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcast. Great conversation. So go ahead and listen to Josh and I talk pop culture on the Pop Culture Cosmos, indeed. Also, as well, want to go ahead and give you guys a heads up. The Lakerholics crew at Lakerholics.com. They were here over the weekend, so go ahead and listen in on that as far as Laker Tom's new Twitter friend, Mark Walter. If you believe that one, go ahead and hear the whole story on that on this past Lakerholics. Also, as well, of course, don't forget my good friend Drip Show at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. It's holiday season again. Look at the quality on this Kobe and Gigi pillow right there for you. Excellent quality there. Plus, take a look behind me. You see Luca right behind me. That canvas art. Kobe, that canvas art modeled after the Sega Game Gear boxes. So absolutely fantastic. And if you want something like that, a hat, a shirt, something more, if you have something in mind, whether it's sports related, pop culture related, go ahead, follow at Drip Show Shop on Instagram or Twitter, and go ahead and make sure you tell him what you're thinking about. And he'll let you know if he can do it, how much it's going to cost. It would be a unique gift for all your holiday fixins right there for you at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. What's up, Serge? The mod God is in the house right there for us. Also, as well, of course, want to give a big shout out to everyone that got a chance to check out. If you're a member, $2.99 a month, right here at the Lakers Fast Break, you got to see NBA observations. Caleb Ponce and I already covered what's going on and what's trending with many of the teams in the NBA. So go ahead and check that out if you're a member. If not, I'll drop it tomorrow. You get a little bit later. But again, if you're a member, you get all this stuff first right there for you for just $2.99 a month, indeed. But yes, Caleb Ponce, great job. Again, NBA observations, check it out. We've been doing it weekly, and I look forward to more NBA observations right here on the Lakers Fast Break. Hey, the Lakers headed into Tobacco Road, Charlotte, North Carolina, as they went to go ahead and second game. Well, I'm sorry, I tried. Yeah, what can I say? That accent.
No, that wasn't actually bad, Joe. That was pretty good.
All right, thank you. You're too kind. As they headed into the second game of their 5-game road trip, the Lakers headed into Charlotte, into that wonderful Technicolor floor that they have. No, you are not watching an NBA Cup game. That is their actual regular floor. I heard you talking about it like on today's playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And by the way, apologies, no me, no John Costa, no Joe. These early games for us, since we're not doing this at a full-time basis, we don't have the support large enough to do so. So Joe's got to run his company. John and I have got family and work commitments. So we apologize. We weren't there for you guys on the playback for VIPs and whatnot. And we apologize for the late post game. But hey, it is what it is. You got to help us out and make us bigger. But anyways, let's get this in going.
Actually, Gerald, correction there. Joe Soares' channel did have the game on.
Yeah, they had to move it over because you guys with the VIPs, because I couldn't handle the VIPs because I was on the road because I was doing a lot of stuff. So yeah, I just again, you guys, it's up to you guys. You guys make us big. I'm there for you. You guys can't make us big enough, then You know what? I have to prioritize. It's just as simple as that. But the Lakers,
Hmm.
5 game road trip, went into Charlotte to play against the Charlotte Hornets. Again, coming off that stinging loss in Atlanta. I know they still felt the pain. JJ, after the game, chewed the guys out a new one, which, yes, their lack of effort and focus, obviously they do need to be chastised a little bit for, but some of that has to be on the coaches themselves. So when JJ did that, I was kind of saying, you know what? Okay, it's these kind of losses, like the one in Atlanta, it's not just a players thing; it's an organizational thing all around. When you're just not prepared to go into battle, the coaches didn't do enough, the players didn't do enough, and him chewing and the Lakers out. I was worried about how they would handle it. Well, they came in today in the first half, didn't quite see the defensive effort as I was hoping to in that first half, but they did get out at the very end with a couple of clutch points from Austin Reeves down the stretch into a 2-point lead at halftime. But in the third quarter, where it's been a problem for the Lakers off and on for years, was no problem at all. As today, they dominated in the third quarter. Their defensive focus was there, held out for 12 minutes as they held the Charlotte Hornets to 15 points. Terrible shooting from them in that third quarter as they dominated the quarter 31-15. Fourth quarter, again, a little bit of an issue there, but their lead was so far away. They had pulled to a double-digit lead and just cruised essentially in that fourth quarter to a 121-111 victory. They're now 8-3 on the season. That's good news. Luka Doncic, and oh, by the way, 38 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Austin Reeves chipped in with 24, 5 and 7. Marcus Smart in the starting lineup, 13 points, 6 assists, and 7 steals. DeAndre Ayton chipped in with 14 6, but Rui Hashimura, 3 of 3 from behind the arc, 21 points. And even despite not the greatest shooting from three, 36% as a team, especially Luka and Austin, 7 of 25. That's not great from behind the arc. And the fact that they only got 11 points from their bench, they still got out the victory 121-111. And here today to go ahead and discuss the game was a guy who was part of the coverage on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, including Tuff was there. No Joker was there. Sean was there. Yeah, just great time. It seemed to be had by you guys. It is, of course, the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to stop on by to watch the game and also tell you about it here today. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, great to have you here. Today, it looks like it. The Lakers didn't have a focus on the defensive end for 4 quarters. No one can say that, but they did have it for one. And that was enough against a poor team in Charlotte tonight.
It was enough, Gerald. It was enough, and I have to tip the hat to both Rui and Austin, Gerald. What's maybe not being looked at strongly enough by Lakers fans thus far this year is that Gerald Rui Hashimura has career highs in points per game. He has career highs in field goal percentage over almost sub 60%, Gerald. And his 3-point shooting, I believe he is top 3 now in the NBA, Gerald. He's shooting just a hair over 52.5% from 3. So you really have to give the tip of the cap to Rui. Austin did his thing tonight, but Gerald, Rui's performance so far is making it very difficult decision making for Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office because, like you said, Austin and Luca struggled a little bit tonight from 3. And when LeBron comes back, guess what, Gerald? LeBron's going to have those 7 to 8 game run where he's maybe shooting sub 45, sub 50, and then he's going to completely fall off a cliff for the next 10 games where he's shooting sub 30. If Rui is consistently shooting over 50% from three, Gerald, you you have to find a way to keep him in the fold. He's
I agree with
essential.
you.
He is essential. Oh, go ahead, Gerald.
No, I was just going to say because the Lakers overall are a poor shooting 3-point team to get to start the season, one of the worst in the NBA. The only saving grace is Rui Hashimura. Instead of 25 looks from three from both Austin and Luka, I like this. Just say, can you give five more to Rui and see what happens? Just two each. Just give two away each, and then one from Smart. Take those five, give it to Rui, and see what happens.
100%, Gerald, because he's also making a career high in threes made per game with two. He's
Mhm.
consistently averaging at least two made three-pointers a game. So he is an essential cog in the way this offense's efficiency runs. Because, as you said, it's going to be a battle whether or not Luca and Austin struggle from three, and then you add in LeBron and Marcus Smart and Laravia. Your consistent dead eye shooter right now is Rui Hashimura. And Gerald, for the life of me, inside of 10 feet, it's an adventure with Rui, even at the free throw line. But it seems he is so efficient now from the mid-range and beyond, Gerald. It's hard not to find, like Gerald said, reasons not to give him the ball more and not to give him more opportunities when he's open to shoot because he has made them. I agree with you, Gerald. The defense left a lot to be desired, especially in that first quarter. And we were counting the number of threes made. One, two. It was like that owl in the Tootsie Pop commercial. Just how many threes can Charlotte hit in this first quarter? And but they adjusted in the second half, Gerald. I really loved. I'm not sure whether it was a coaching decision or whether it was Vando himself, but somebody decided, you know what? Instead of having him check Miles Bridges, why don't we put him on Colin Sexton? Let's put a big guy on a small guard again. Hmm, how did that work previously when you put him on Steph and John Morant in the playoffs previously? So in spurts, it's a really great tool to have, Gerald. And credit needs to go to JJ for making those adjustments defensively. And they were just able to run Charlotte off the 3-point line that third quarter. Khan couldn't get going. They couldn't get Simpson going. The only guy that seemed to get going from three was late in the game with McClenny he was the only guy who seemed to be hitting shots for them from deep. So I mean, Charlotte really had to go to the depths of their bench to try and find some production from three, and credit JJ and the players for making those adjustments because through the second and third quarter, the Lakers were a plus 22, and that was enough to win the game.
Shout out to Miles Bridges for the Charlotte Hornets because he took off in the first half on his way to a 34.9, 7 to 12 from three. Com Knipple had almost a triple double, making a claim that he might be after that Rookie of the Year conversation with 19, 10, and 9. But again, the Lakers are one of the poorest shooting teams from three, but also one of the poorest defending the three as well. As tonight they gave up 47% from three, but they're doing the things that they need to do to win. Obviously, the three is not a priority for them at this time as far as what they need to make and what they need to defend on, even though it's frustrating to us when we watch the game, Sean. It seems like their mid range, the Lakers have become one of the best teams in the NBA, getting to the foul line, hitting from the mid range. That's where they're focusing a lot of their efforts on. That's where they're getting a lot of their good execution from. And that's why they're still winning games, even though they're shooting poor from three and defending poor from three as well.
100%, Gerald. That's a great observation. I would say at this point, the Lakers have five players who are above average to very good mid-range shooters. You have DeAndre Ayton, you have Rui Hashimura, you have Austin Reeves, you have Luka Doncic, and I would also put Laravia in that category as well. Um, they seem to be finding just spots on the floor to get production, and that's all you're looking for. I know the game now is more designed to shoot 40 to 48 threes a game, have over 100 possessions, try and get 25 plus free throws. But this is the NBA. Teams adjust. This is the best league in the world. And you have to manufacture points sometimes, Gerald, as you know. And one of the best ways to do that is to create opportunities on the floor that a team is willing to give up. If teams are willing to give up the mid range to the Lakers, Gerald, it's going to be adjustment because the Lakers are making their shots from the mid range and it's creating an imbalance as far as floor integrity with defenders, especially considering the fact that, as Gerald pointed out, Luca is always a threat for that step back. And in that instance, if he's a threat, he is more than willing to dish it out to DeAndre Ayton or Austin Reeves or Rui if they're open in the mid range to hit it. Because right now, Gerald, Ayton and Rui are in rhythm from the mid range. You can see that Rui is very confident with his mid range shot right now.
Absolutely, he is very good. I mean, he's right now. He and Luca and Austin from the mid range are just killing it, and that's the reason why the Lakers are winning a lot of these games, despite the fact that Luca and Austin are struggling from deep. And Marcus Smart, well, he's never been known as a sharpshooter, but he'll keep trying. He'll keep chucking them up there. That's something you and I talked about. I'll take the good with the bad anytime with Marcus Smart because you saw how effective he was on the floor, Magic Man, defensively with 7 steals. He helped keep the Lakers in the game, and especially in that third quarter, he helped turn that tide with an outstanding defensive effort along with the rest of the team. They didn't get execute things perfectly, especially off the bench. But I tell you what, defensively in that third quarter, they need to take a picture of that. They need to frame that. They need to go ahead and figure out how they can duplicate that for 4 quarters in Oklahoma City.
100%, 100%. And I'll say this about Marcus Smart. What he's lost in athleticism, which is quite a bit. And as Gerald noted, he's not the brightest penny in the fountain when it comes to offensive possessions, but he's brave. He's willing to take shots. He's willing to make plays. I think what's happened now, Gerald, is Marcus Smart is a very intelligent defensive player. And I think what he's come to understand so far is he knows how to galvanize the other 4 players around him on the floor and become organized. And we didn't see a lot of that last year in the playoffs. There was a disorganized mess defensively against Minnesota. And so far, through 11 games, Smart has found a way to galvanize what guys do well and try and cover up holes or flaws by he's playing really a strong safety position at this point, Gerald. He's overviewing the defense and he's willing to take a risk or chance by getting into spaces that ordinarily maybe a defender who had a little bit more athleticism or maybe a little bit more intelligence uh, maybe would take a risk and live with it, but he's taking calculated risks on the defensive side. He's weighing the risk versus the reward assessment, and I applaud him for that because he is basically galvanizing this team to being an average defensive team, Gerald. And if you told me coming into this season that the Lakers would be an average offensive team, average defensive team, and a top 5 offensive team, I would say we would have a pretty good record.
Patroon, no, this does not prove this win over the Charlotte Hornets does not prove to me, to you, to anyone out there that we can win the championship. So, as I always say to people in the 10th, 11th game of the season, slow down, slow down,
We got
stop this
71
title talk.
more. Yeah.
Stop
We
this
got
title talk in the 11th game. That's so irritating. So irritating beyond belief, guys. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop. Look at the mirror. Look in the mirror. Look at yourself. You're talking about winning a title in the 11th game of the season. Stop it. Stop it. Slap your hands. Stop it. Stop it. Because it is the 11th game of the season. There's an OKC team, which we're going into Wednesday. Even if we win there, it's only the 12th game of the season. Anything can happen. Somebody could blow out Achilles. Somebody could blow out a knee. Something could happen as far as injury is concerned. Somebody's performance could go into. There's so many variables over the next 71 games. Let's have this conversation in April or March. Let's have that. Then we can discuss this. But you guys just in the 11th game of the season, guys are just whacked out. Stop it. Stop it. Good grief. But I
good
will just
grief
say that,
indeed.
yeah, I just we get them every year. We get these eternal which is great. Absolutely. If you're an eternal optimist when it comes to Lakers, God bless. I have to shoot it to you real. I will always shoot it to you real. As I've always told you guys since 2019, I will tell you like it is, not how like you want it to be or like you think it is. I tell you how it is. It's just that simple. As right now, it's 11 games in. It's a great start for the Lakers. If somebody had said, Gerald, would you take with all the injuries, all the people that are still out, LeBron being out the entire season, Austin and Luka being out certain games. In fact, they were out one game, both of them entirely. Would you take an 8-3 record? Yes, I would take an 8-3 record. I would love an 8-3 record. I was thinking with the kind of players that we had out and the load management involved, a 500 record would probably be more what we were looking at. But they have exceeded my expectations. But am I ready to go ahead and anoint the Larry O'Brien trophy and tell them to FedEx that over to Marina Del Rey? No, not Marina, El Segundo. No, I'm not. And nor should you guys. Because when you guys talk like that, bad things are on the horizon happen. So stop it. We're not counting a title yet. No, we don't even know how well they match up against a playoff ready Oklahoma City. We're going to get a little taste of that, but even on Wednesday, you can't get a full taste, Magic Man, because Jalen Williams isn't there. So let's say the Lakers win and go in there and they win by 10. They win by 15. Before you guys celebrate, we don't have LeBron. They don't have Jalen. There could be an entirely different way it looks come April. So it's really hard to tell this early in the season just how good or bad these teams are, which I stressed earlier today on NBA observations.
Absolutely, Gerald. And if Tuesday night is any indication, Wednesday night they'll be missing three of their four best guards. Lou Dort is out Tuesday against Golden State. Aaron Wiggins is out, and J-Dub is out. Plus, Kenrich Williams is also unavailable Tuesday night against Golden State, Gerald. These are players that have provide valuable depth. And that is something I think Joyner and Coolbro need to understand and have a humble attitude about is that it takes a team to win. How did Luka Doncic do Saturday night against the Atlanta Hawks, Coolbro? Or Patron.
Yeah.
How did he do against one team? It takes a team to win, and it takes valuable contributions from your glue guys. And Gerald, I would say right now, Marcus Smart, Rui, Jake LaRavia would qualify as our glue guys right now. Um, it takes a team to win. And
Protrude
it's
thinks
going
Charlotte is
it's
better than the Hawks. Okay. All right.
Well, that's not really a high bar, but okay.
Okay. I will say again to Nibel out there, no, they did not have their top two players. Lonzo Ball, Lamelo
Cool,
Ball
cool,
was
cool,
out,
cool,
and then
cool, bro.
also Brandon Miller
Cool,
was
bro.
also out.
You missed my point entirely. You missed my point entirely. He's not the reason we are doing so well.
It's a team effort, and it's a
It's a
team.
team effort.
He playing at an MVP level does help dramatically. Today, 38 points for him. Really solid game, despite the fact not hitting a three. Absolutely magic, man. He's playing at an MVP like level. Absolutely. No one can dispute that. But the fact that you're getting good contributions from the players that, again, I'm patting Rob Palinka on the back. I call it like I see it. When I trash Rob, I trash Rob. When I praise Rob, he deserves it. And right now, Aiton gave you 14 and 6. Okay, but he's had mostly a good season. Jake LaRavie only gave you 6 points today, but he's had, for the most part, some really good season. And Marcus Smart, I said coming into the season, I don't know what he looks like. He's got to be healthy for us to evaluate him, and we're getting a good look at him right now. And coming into the starting lineup today, getting you 7 steals and 13 points, giving you that kind of contribution, you have to hand it for Rob for actually finding this out and taking a chance, and it's paying off so far. It's a team
Uh,
effort right now, and like you said with Rui playing at a level. Austin with 24 today, having a all-star type season, which you predicted, you talked about before in previously about him becoming an all-star level player. It's falling into place, and it's not just Luca, cool bro.
yes, Gerald, I would say as far as the biggest surprises so far this year, I would say Sandro Mamukelashvili from the Raptors, Jake LaRavia from the Lakers, and Jaime Jaquez is changing his game are probably the three biggest surprises as far as players thus far this year, Gerald. Um, I didn't think we would have a bench worth you know what, Gerald. And Laravia is actually providing stability with the bench play. Now, obviously somebody's going to have to sit on the bench when LeBron comes back. I'm sure that person will be Marcus Smart. But at least now we have two solid glue guys off the bench in Smart and Laravia that can give us a punch in the arm when we need to sit one of Luca and or Austin and or LeBron. So there are a lot of promising signs right now. Um, I don't think it's a stretch what Search said that in some ways we are overachieving. I think that that's true. Um, Given the point differential, we are not blowing teams away. Um, I mean, people want to talk about people want to talk about people want to talk about the issue with OKC. OKC is still beating teams by 13 points a game, Gerald, and they don't have J-Dub. So I mean, Laker fans better be ready Wednesday night if things jackknife, because that team is the defending champs. They still have plenty of depth, and they're beating teams by double digits. If you look at the point differential between the OKC Thunder and the Los Angeles Lakers, Gerald, which is a yardstick I use to uh, analyze how good a team is and whether or not they're a contender. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. You want to see the Lakers win games any which way you can right now, especially without LeBron. When LeBron comes back and there's some cohesion and some fluidity amongst the team, I would say then it's a good yardstick to see how we measure up against the best. But right now, it's just about winning one game at a time.
I would say yes because Luca hasn't played all the games. He's missed what 3 games so far this season, Patroon.
Yes.
So I would say, and then also Jokic and less minutes is still having those video game numbers. That's the worst part about this. When I made Jokic my right now, and it toggled between four different players in the past week because of just how close it is, guys, right now. And right now, Nikola Jokic, the dude is just insane right now. Do you guys not know what he's doing right now for a team that is also right with the Lakers at 7-2 right now? It's amazing. 25 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists on 65% shooting. I mean, that is efficiency. I don't know how much more efficient you guys can get on this Magic. I mean, when I say that, it's like they're all deserving. Both Luka is deserving. Luka was my number one heading into the weekend, and then he pulled up that dud in Atlanta, and Jokic has inched ahead. It's that close, guys. Giannis right now single-handedly bringing them back right now in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to hear the point. If Dallas loses tonight as it gets close to the end of the game, you can hear Fire Nico chants. Giannis is right there. SGA, oh, by the way, he's averaging 35, I believe, right now, with the
Mm-hmm.
second best player out on their team for a 10-1 team in OKC. So right now, you have to have you put a blanket over those guys, not to mention Spider Mitchell is averaging 30 plus a game. Cunningham is helping his team lead the East, and then Detroit. Have you looked at the standings, guys? Detroit's leading the East right now because of Cade Cunningham. And then, oh, by
Mm-hmm.
the way, Victor Wembanyama had a bad week. He fell right into the back of the line. But if he starts getting those video game numbers again with 10 block shots or whatever, he'll go right back up again. So it's really right now a tough decision, guys. It's early, but you could throw a blanket over all of those top 4 or 5 individuals right now
Gerald,
for MVP.
this MVP race is like the game of Jenga.
Yeah,
It's really about the Jenga. Pulling out one piece, you pull it up. Oh, no, no, that's not gonna work. So we'll pull this piece and we'll go back here. That's what it is. It's a Jenga race for the MVP this year, and there are a lot of like you said, Gerald. There are five strong candidates, and Wemby's probably right there at number six. So it's going to be a race all year. And Gerald also brought up another great observation. Every team deals with injury, and unfortunately, one team's going to get snake bitten by an unfortunate injury, and it happens every year. It just depends on when, not if. And when that happens, it's going to tilt and shift the power dynamic in whatever conference we're in.
absolutely. Again, it's a blank. I think you guys are just way too early on the MVP speculation and way too early on the championship speculation. But that's, again, since you guys ask, I'm telling
Mm.
you how it is and how I see it right now. But again, just 1 or 2 games the other way. Luca goes in and scores 45 in OKC and they win. Guess who's on top of the standings right there in the MVP for me? Uh, that's what's going to take. That's what it's going to take. It takes these great performances right now because all 5 of these guys are really, and Cade Cunningham and Wemby, all of these guys are really playing at an elite level, and it's fun to watch. I know that Cool Bro says Jokic is overrated. You guys hating on Jokic. Wouldn't you love a center averaging a triple double for you guys? I mean, it's the success is there. Denver is what only 2 losses on the season, and again, I stress this, Sean. Unlike Luca, Jokic is playing 4 less minutes than he did last
Mm.
season. That's the scary part. He now has a bench. He now has players that can come off the bench and help give him a spell. It makes it even easier for him to last throughout the season, so he won't gas out in the playoffs.
100%, Gerald. He's got he has a starting center who's his backup. If 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 Nikola Jokic did not play for the Denver Nuggets, Jonas Valanciunas would start at center for the Denver Nuggets. That's how good he is. He is a starting center that is a backup to Nikola Jokic. And the further we get into this season, Gerald, you know as well as I do, there are going to be games where Jokic probably could finish with 35, 18, 15, but he's going to sit down and he's going to let Jonas play for the fourth quarter. And I'm not sure whoever said Jokic is overrated, but you are an objectively a stupid person for that take. You are talking about a multiple time MVP. You were talking about a player who was a second round pick. He wasn't a first round pick. He wasn't a first overall pick. He was a second round pick. Jokic is the best second round pick ever taken in NBA history, Gerald. The best second round pick ever taken in NBA history. And you're a moron if you think you can call him overrated. A
He's the best
champion,
player of this
fi-
decade. He is the best
finals
player of this
MVP.
decade.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's
Best
just
player of
right
the
there.
decade.
He's got the hardware to prove it. It's just that simple. And if you keep on saying he's overrated, he's just going to prove you wrong. And that's the scary part, guys. Stop dissing Jokic because you guys get burnt by Jokic. We've been burnt by Jokic before on multiple occasions. I am not going to fall into that trap and underestimate Nikola Jokic. If you do so at your own peril, and I'll just leave it at that. But again, when we say Luka is having a great season, he's having a great season. Not even shooting well from three, he is still impacting the game, averaging well over 35 points a game. He is doing his part in keeping this team at playing at an extremely high level. But the next game after this victory, they head in 2 days to Oklahoma City to face off against the Thunder. An early test, to say the least. I expect them to throw a whole bunch of those junk defenses that Mark Dagnall likes to throw at. He's got those high levels. I'm assuming at least most of those high level defenders will be available against Luka, and they'll throw them out against him and Austin. Those two guys have to work together strong. Austin, I think, in Oklahoma has to go ahead and show his somewhat home crowd. Uh, because he went to college there. But he has to show them that he is playing at an elite level today, where he didn't need to go ahead and really turn it up, except for one period of time in that third quarter, and also again near the half. He has to turn it up for all four quarters because you better come prepared. JJ better have this entire team prepared going into OKC because it's an early test for the Lakers on Wednesday.
It's an early test, Gerald, and they still have Chet Holmgren, who's healthy and is a pretty decent three-point shooter himself, Gerald. So DeAndre Ayton, Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura, who's ever playing the center position, cannot take possessions off with Holmgren out there because any one of SGA or Wiggins, if he's playing, or quite frankly, anybody else will find Holmgren open. Dagnall likes to run a high-powered motion offense, Gerald. And guess what? Believe it or not, Gerald, Mark Dagnall has you can tell that he's inspired by Pat Riley's perimeter style defense from the late 80s of the Lakers. Your hands are constantly in front of you. Your hands are not at your side or in your pockets. You play wide, you play fast, and they go up and down the court, Gerald, north, south, east, west, offensively and defensively, very, very well. They're in a very efficient offensive and defensive team, and the Lakers cannot take possessions off like they did tonight against Charlotte and expect to win. If you take possessions off against OKC, OKC is going to cook you quicker than the Hawks did Saturday night, Gerald.
JY, a great question from JY. Once again, the Lakers do win 121 to 111. Lakers move to 8-3 on the season. JY says the Lakers have given up 40 points in back-to-back first quarters on the
Mhm,
road so far. That's
mhm.
not a good trend. Will it continue in OKC, Magic Man?
It can't, or we're not going to win, Gerald. It has to stop Wednesday night. If you give up 40 points to Oklahoma City in that first quarter, it's going to be donezo. Because at some point in time, Luca is going to get tired. And here's the thing, Gerald. This is what happens in games where either we're struggling shooting or we're struggling defensively. What a team's game plan is this, and I've noticed this. It's a pattern now, and it goes back to his Dallas days. Feel out Luca for the first quarter. Play him a little harder in the second. In the third and fourth quarter, you wear him out on both ends. You can see it, Gerald. You can see specifically the better the head coach in the NBA, the more work they decide to put on Luka Doncic. They make him work defensively. They make him run around screens. They make him dive harder. They make him become more offensive centric, and therefore, and sometimes the game gets away from him, but they make him work on both ends, and there is still a conditioning issue there because he does seem to gas out the harder you push him offensively and defensively. If you make him work on both ends, it's harder for Luca to gather the necessary energy reserves to pull the Lakers out of you know what, Gerald, the way Kobe used to do. Kobe was a conditioned animal. There was no, and teams tried, but there was no way you were going to wear him out offensively and defensively. He was just super conditioned. You can see teams are trying to affect Luca on both ends by making him use up energy.
Absolutely. And we'll see if that continues. I think it's always easy for me on the game plan. A, limit your turnovers. B, limit the number of foul shots that SGA gets. That's usually a recipe for success against OKC. But the problem is, not a lot of teams can follow it because they just cannot help themselves from fouling SGA, and they cannot help themselves from turning the ball over against OKC. That's why they're 10-1. We'll see what happens. But again, it is Wednesday. Go ahead and check it out with us. Playback.tv, South Lakers Fast Break, and then of course the post game coming up right here. Hopefully the post game will be immediately after. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to try our best to do so. Again, you guys get us bigger, we'll be able to go ahead and have it right when you want it. But it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. But Magic, great to have you here so far. Patroon says the Lakers will win 125-80. So that would be a shocker, a Bengal shocker. But he's very enthusiastic about the Lakers. We get those individuals from time to time on this
Mhm.
channel. It's always good to see the positivity that the Lakers can
I
walk
love
on
the
water. And,
enthusiasm, just don't love the knowledge behind it.
well, it's okay. If he believes it, believing into making it happen. And let's hope
Mhm.
that that's the case.
Mhm.
Again, if that's the case, maybe the Lakers will also be able to cure cancer and walk on water as well. So I will say this though before we head on out, because again, it is the Lakers fast break. Heading into OKC is going to be a tough matchup for them, but it's an early test. But again, the Lakers don't have LeBron. They don't have J-Dub, like you said, and they don't have Wiggins. They don't have some other players as well heading into this matchup in OKC, but I'm looking forward to seeing it anyways. I'd like to see them start on another streak and stake their claim, because being at the top of the Western Conference standings this early in the season, sometimes that takes your momentum a long way. Sometimes it doesn't. We've seen teams in November, December on top of the Western Conference, and they fade, over the course of time, like I was talking about with Caleb Ponce earlier today. But I will say, if the Lakers can maintain this kind of momentum, go 8-3 every 11 games, I'll leave it at this. If that's the case and they can do that, then obviously it does set themselves up to be one of the favorites in the Western Conference. But we wait and see, my friend. barring any health issues, of course.
Barring that, Gerald, yes, we will see. But through 11 games, having an over 750 winning percentage, I'll take it. I'll take it. Um, we'll see. Our to be fair, our schedule has been kind of soft, and we've taken advantage of it. Um, but now it gets a little harder because in between the sandwich of the sad sacks that are the New Orleans Pelicans, what's new, Gerald? You've got the OKC Thunder and you've got the Bucks on a back-to-back. I don't care how easy or
Yeah,
how
that's going
uh
to be a tough one too.
yeah, I don't care how well-oiled machine. A lot of our subscribers believe we are. I'm that Saturday night game traveling from New Orleans to the Midwest to Milwaukee is not going to be an easy game.
And if you go to Twitter right now, you can see how the ending of the Dallas Mavericks Milwaukee Bucks the game finished, and you can actually see Giannis smirking as the chants rang out across the entire arena. Fire Nico, fire Nico.
Gerald, Gerald, here's an interesting question for you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there will be a new GM for the Dallas Mavericks at some point, Gerald. Let might be mid-season. He might last till April. We don't know. I don't think so, but we'll see. So Gerald, you're interviewing for the Dallas Mavericks GM position, and I tell you this, Mr. Glassford, we
Mm-hmm.
have Cooper Flag, the number one overall pick for the 2025 draft, who's potentially a transformational superstar in this league. However, we do not have a first round pick in 2027, 2028, 2029, and 2030. How will you build this franchise into a consistent winner with no first round pick for the next 4 out of the 5 years? Unless you decide, Gerald, this year that you're in complete and utter tank mode and you're praying for ping pong balls again.
That's true. That's true. Kurt says fire Jason Kidd too, who puts Flag at point guard. That's what
He's
they
not a
want to do.
point guard. He's not a point guard.
I
He's
will.
not a point guard.
Let me just say this, match, man, because this reminds me a little bit of Austin Reeves. Remember when Austin Reeves, a season and a half ago, we made him the point guard and trial by
Hmm.
fire, and it didn't go
Hmm.
quite the way we wanted it to. But look how much better he came out on the other side. Flag at point guard is rough, really rough right now, guys, and it's not pretty at all. But on the other side of it, when they get a real coach, when they get a real GM, when they get a real team around him, it might look a lot better for his playmaking skills. But right now, having him as your rookie point guard, it's rough. It's absolutely rough, and he's taking his lumps. But I do expect him to come out of it on the other side a more polished player on the other side. But your team is going to look really bad right now because of it.
100%, Gerald. And you could see it with the interviews. Coop isn't used to losing. I don't think he's lost this much in his whole life. So that's an adjustment as well. And me and Gerald have talked about this from the inception that I was on the show. There is a stark difference between when you have somebody as Gerald mentioned, like a Jokic, like a Giannis, like a Luca, where you feel, Gerald, that you could win just about every game you play no matter the point differential in the second or third quarter, you still feel like you have the guy that can put the team on his shoulders and take you to victory. And I think Flag thought has that same attitude, Gerald. He's just discouraged by as Gerald said, by the process right now, and more focused on the results rather than the process. But as Gerald said, Austin Reeves went through this process and it was rough. And like Gerald said, it was kind of baptismal by fire. But Austin Reeves' scar tissue from that experience has led him to be the really, really great guard that he is today. And if Cooper Flag could take some of those similar lessons, Gerald, I think it would bode well for him, because they're gonna need it. I mean, outside of this year, you don't have a first round pick until oh my gosh, what there'll be two
It's a
more
little
U.S.
while.
presidents by then. Yeah, so you, it's gonna be a law. It might be a law, a little more extended rebuild in Dallas than they probably want, Gerald. But at the same time, like you said, I mean, this is the time for Flag to take his lumps.
I'll just say this when it comes to Charlotte before we head on out. I've told you before, I wish the Lakers would have moved up two more spots in that second round and got Kalkbrenner. He's not a
Mm.
cure all, end all, but the kid's set big, he's wide, he is a little slow footed, but he can get you rebounds, he can get you block shots, and he shoots. He knows who he is. He shot 3 for 4 tonight. Nothing sparkling, nothing, 75%. That's low for him. He's shooting 80% from the field. He knows who he is. He knows what his range is right now as a rookie player. But again, as a second round draft pick, I think there's a limited future on limited ceiling, but I think he does have a good future for him. Again, starting throwing him out there as a starting center on a team that has nothing in the way of center depth was a good move. And trial by fire for the most part, it's looked okay. Comp Knippel is putting his 2 cents in regards to rookie of the year. Like I said, he was 1 assist short of a triple double. He has come in and especially played more with the loss of LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. And watch out, guys. Yes, he's also taking his lumps, but he is looking better than Cooper Flag right now in doing so.
Absolutely, Gerald. Like you said, he was on triple double watch in that fourth quarter. I would have him second right now in rookie of the year voting, Gerald, just a little bit behind VJ Edgecombe, whose impressive start to his NBA career is nothing short of it shouldn't be surprising, but it's a little on the I didn't see that coming side. So yeah, a Flag has a lot of work to do here, in order to ascend himself into that rookie of the year position, especially given well, let's face it, Gerald. I mean, going into this season, there were higher expectations for the Mavericks than there were the Sixers, if we're talking objectively. And it just goes to show you never know what you have until the live bullets are flying and you can see what a man does in the heat of battle. Um, but I would say Khan is right there, Gerald. Hopefully the Charlotte Hornets don't fire Charles Lee in 2 seasons and actually allow him to grow with these young players because I know they have Colin Sexton and they brought in a couple other veterans. Grant Williams is still hurt, but they have a nice blend of youth and athleticism that if they really try and grow this team together, they could be. I think they could be a playoff team in 2 years, Gerald. That's not unrealistic. Given the fact that Miles Bridges has shown a lot of maturity through these last couple of years on and off the court, and if you mix that with Kahn and Kalkbrenner, and you can find another 3 and D in the draft because they will likely be picking in the top 10 again this year. If you can find that guy, this is a team that has a lot of talent around it and can grow together. And I think Khan could end up being similarly, Gerald. He reminds me a lot of Gallo. Do you remember Danilo Gallinari?
Mm-hmm.
Danilo Gallinari was a very good player, and I think Khan has a lot of comps to Gallo. So the star is rising for him. I just hope he keeps up his development.
Last thing before we head on out, I didn't know that, well, if you had Grayson Allen on your fantasy basketball team, hitting 42 points tonight was the deal for him. 10 threes as Phoenix is a surprise above 500 team as it's 121-98. The Willie Green watch is definitely on as they fall to 2-8. But the Lakers, I still wish they would do more to do some tweaks. What they can do. Drew Timme, he was traded, big trade last week for the Lakers, but it was for the South Bay Lakers. They gave up a first round. People didn't even know. Did the G League draft? Yeah, there's a G League draft. They gave up their first round G League draft to bring Drew Timme, who was cut by the Nets. He's been one of those fringe NBA players who is very skilled offensively and not so skilled defensively. But as someone who might be able to give us some points with some size, could do
Love
worse.
to love to make Gonzaga, Gerald. So I mean, if you could give him a chance here, sure.
I mean, Mannion, I don't know if Mannion can really do anything for us. And
I would rather
Koloko,
play Timmy than Bronny James right now.
you and I both. Koloko, I don't think that's working out. And Mannion has done nothing really. So, yeah, just again, yeah, Current Affairs says, "Oh man, I missed that LFB G League draft special."
Yeah, the fantasy draft G League. Yeah.
Exactly. No, it came across the wire last week and we didn't mention it, but yes,
Mm-hmm. I
uh,
know.
yeah, I mean RJ Davis, guys really liked him in the summer. He is there along with a few other players that were made note of. Some of the like Marshallonis's kid who was injured throughout the summer. He is on that team, so just keep an eye out for them in case that the Lakers decide to change up their two ways. But Drew Timme might get some pretty video game like numbers for South Bay. Just keep your eye on that, guys, just in case. But again, Magic Man, it's been great here tonight. Again, you were great earlier. I'm like, you're Magic Man. Don't tell him to go to my email, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com, asking for VIPs. If I can't get the VIPs on the road on Talk Studio, I mean on playback, how do I expect to do it with the email?
Well, fair enough, Gerald, but I also included the fact that you need to email him ahead of time if you're going to be on the LFB site so he knows that you're looking for a VIP. But you're right. I should have prefaced it by saying he's on the road tonight. He cannot help you with that.
And Xbox, yes, Josh Giddey. We talked about Chicago earlier today on NBA Observations. Josh Giddey is having an all-star season, but
Hmm.
do not let him again, ever, ever guard DeAndre Hunter. Never let him do that again. He broke his ankle so bad, not literally, but if you guys get my drift, his ankle hurt so bad on that move. If you look at it on Twitter or you catch the highlight of it, I think it's my top two. I think it's one of the top two I've ever seen as far as broken ankles
I
are
would
concerned.
say it's up there with James Harden putting Wesley Johnson's jock up into the rafters, Gerald. It's up there.
it okay. It's so bad that he is questionable with an ankle sprain for the next game. I'll just leave it at that. So, but Xbox, he is an all-star to me right now. He's playing really well. Chicago, despite losing tonight, is still having a really good season. We did talk about Chicago. We also talked about Portland. We talked about the Drippers, aka the Clippers. We talked about others. Do we believe teams, the Spurs as well? So go ahead and hear my conversation with Caleb Ponce if you're a member right now after the show, or sometime tomorrow. I'll drop it on there for everybody else as well. But
Well,
Magic Man,
Gerald, to
yes.
be fair, Nikola Vucevic has more game winners this year than Luka, Giannis, and Jokic combined.
Yeah, Derek. Again, again, you if you know this show right now, I call it like I see it. It looks good now, and I'm really happy that anybody like Patroon and Cool Bro and you are really, really positive and really high on the Lakers as of now. And it does look really good. But I have to see things because I'm here 300 shows plus a year. I have to call it like I see it. And I've seen things go up and down, but it does look good right now. It does look good. But you know what? It's Houston, Denver, Minnesota. By the way, Minnesota is not as bad as you think. They've won several games in a row, and they're breathing down the neck of the Lakers right now. Houston, Denver, OKC. Those are all really, really good teams. And if the Lakers are not going into the playoffs 100%, those matchups could be brutal. But we'll see. It could work in their favor for a big long run, especially with Luka playing in an MVP like level, or it could work against them. I still think they need some things like a little more athleticism on the wing. They need to shoot better, which I'm hoping they'll work out. I'm hoping Luka and Austin will their shot making from long distance will improve a little bit over the course of the year. I'm not expecting 40% from them, but if they can get back up to 37%, 38%, I would be really cool with that because then that means they're hitting more shots from deep. But we'll see how it works out. And then also, like I said, an athletic defender along the wing and some more size. I do not trust Jackson Hayes in a playoff format. He's fine right now during the season, but did we not flash back to last year to see what Jackson Hayes could give you as a center, giving you minutes off the bench, or even as a starter in the playoffs? So I would like to see one more big guy thrown into the mix with the Lakers, and then also some of the athleticism on the wing that can really help as far as the defense is concerned. Then we'll see. Then you might have me a little bit more intrigued. But right now they're playing well. They're very good, and no one can deny that. 8-3, a fantastic start for the Lakers. I just want to see how it plays out over the course of the season, guys. Magic Man, any final thoughts before we head on out?
Uh, actually, I'll just add one, Gerald. Just to piggyback off what the Podfather was saying there. I think what's advantageous about all this right now is I believe we're playing better than most expected. Probably not nobody in that locker room because they're all very prideful men and they're in the NBA for a reason. I would say this, Gerald, amongst all the teams at the top, I would say the two teams with the most cap flexibility, along with ability to add draft capital if need be, are the Thunder and the Lakers. Houston's really locked into a lot of their contracts right now, Gerald. Um, Denver is really locked into a lot of their contracts. Plus, they have to. I believe Aaron Gordon is due for a big fat extension pretty soon, Gerald. So that's another team that is up against the salary cap, and there the Lakers sit with a lot of expiring contracts and a little bit draft capital for nibble's sake. So I think ourselves and OKC are in the prime position to grab needs as opposed to our other opponents in the West, Gerald.
Best League SB is not a bot. He was on the air with us, I think, early last week. So check it out. He's a very loud. If SB is a bot, he is the loudest, most crude, most profane bot you could ever have, and I'll leave it at that. But I love him though. God bless SB. God bless Xbox
He's got more
Australian
common
friends.
sense than any bot that ever lived, that's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Those two just go at it all day long. But God bless them both. I love them both so much. And I can't wait to get you guys back on, by the way, when you guys are able to come back on stage. Legend as well. And then, of course, Joe. And then, of course, John Costa. Because of the later time, a lot of guys couldn't make it. But again, we apologize for the lateness, but we got to get to the point where we're big, where we're making enough of a living to say to our significant others, our families, our friend, our fellow employers or employees, that hey, our priority needs to be the Lakers fast break, and hopefully one day we'll get there. We've been saying it for years, but it's always up to you. So hopefully, yes, no worries, Best. Like I know you're kidding. No worries. Vari is a legend. He is indeed.
Oh, Gerald, let's play What If, just to close
Okay.
out the show. What if the Lakers beat the Pelicans by 40 or more on Friday night? Does Willie Green get fired, Gerald?
I would think they'll wait for Monday.
Okay.
They either do it on a Friday late. You're right. If it's Friday, they could do it as Friday late night. But most likely Monday seems to be just a wonderful day to axe coaches. Just for seemingly, I mean, see New York Giants right now. There you go. Jackson Dart gets a concussion. The coach goes. So yeah, that's how it goes. But Monday seems to always be the day that they like
And
to.
just to end the note, and just to end the show on a positive, Gerald, there were a number of studies done about 2 decades ago that suggested that the best day to fire somebody would be a Friday afternoon because that person would not be able to go postal on the employment uh, and have a chance to reflect upon the weekend. Now, maybe that's true, maybe that's not, I don't know, Gerald, but all I remember is I've been fired on a Monday, not a Friday.
Okay. Well, when Friday they always the Friday evening news stuff. They always love to go ahead and do that. They like everybody. You won't notice on your way to the weekend that all these things that they like to dump, news articles and government stuff and all that stuff, firing, layoffs and all
Yeah.
that. I like to do that on Friday. Oh, by the way, heading to have a great weekend. You've been laid off. There you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yep. Yep. It just happened this past Friday, Gerald. 2,500 people fired from a major bank in Canada. Have a nice weekend. No
Yes.
severance.
Have a nice
Bye.
week. Bye, indeed. 8:05. One last thing on LeBron. The last ESPN report had LeBron coming back sometime after the 5-game road trip. They played 2 games with Utah, one at home and then one on the road in Utah. My guess is because there's a 5-day period between the game at home against Utah and then the game in Salt Lake City. My guess is that they would wait until the latter game in Salt Lake City because again, that's 5 days of rest, extra rest with that. That's just a guess on my part, but they are targeting in and around the 20th. Actually, I'm sorry, the 17th to 20th in that range for him. That would be my guess. Is probably right around there for him. He is going through 5-on-5, working out with the South Bay G League team. He is in process of getting back into shape. So he's close. He's close, which is good news for the Lakers as they are now 8-3, heading into OKC for their toughest test of the earliest part of the season here. So we'll be there. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, or at least the channel will be available for you to watch. I will try to be there. Or the guys that are on stage, I will show them. I will show them how to go ahead and issue out VIPs. We'll go over it together. I know I've trained tough. I think I've trained tough. Or was it Div? Anyways, any one of the guys on stage with me, I will make sure I will go ahead and pass that Jedi knowledge of how to give out VIPs on playback so they all know, so they don't have to worry about go email Gerald or anything like that. So they know. I'm like, how am I going to be reading? I'm going 70 miles an hour on the freeway. I'm going to read my email. Patrick, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. You're crazy.
I am. That was my
We
bad,
love you, man.
Gerald.
We love you. Got nothing but love
That
for you,
was
my
my
friend. And just
bad.
no worries. Magic Man Sean Grice, he is an integral part of what we do here. Hopefully, we can get Joe back on the air. Hopefully, we can get John Costa back on the air, Legend back on the air, all the guys to go ahead sometime as we go and continue on with the road trip. But looking forward to Wednesday when we're going to go ahead and face off against Oklahoma City. Patroon's already called it. Lakers by 45. Will that happen? We'll find out. Big shout out to Sean, Tough, No Joker. Was Div there? I don't. Who
He
else
was in the
was there?
chat. Div was in the chat.
Okay, everybody in the chat for playback. I hope you guys on YouTube that are watching the simulcast like the new format layout because I put the box score. Now it's a floating box score
That
that's
was
on YouTube.
nice, Gerald. That was a
Yeah,
nice
so
touch.
that's a new feature for playback that I've now implemented for the YouTube audience, so they can see on the fly everything that's going on with the box score there with on YouTube while they listen to you guys and while they check out the comments on playback as well. So yeah, just a little interesting feature that playback gives. So hopefully you guys will appreciate it. But again, you'll get to see that feature and more on Wednesday as we face off against Oklahoma City. Will we win by 45? Just want to get the win. That's all I care about. But we'll find out. Win or not, we're here for you on Wednesday as the Lakers continue the road trip in OKC, and we're covering it all for you right here on the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.